Good morning นะครับ everyone
Morning ค่ะอาจารย์
ครับ How are you this morning ครับ Are you good
ค่ะจะ sleepy but good ค่ะ
Oh sleepy but good same here ครับ sleepy but good too Okay so today we are going to continue talking about the Microsoft Excel that is the first software that we have to use นะครับ for the first half of the term นะครับ Okay all right so on the last class we started talking about like the Microsoft Excel, including its like basic components in Microsoft Excel นะครับ that you have to know the whole book นะครับ or the whole file นะครับ one file in Microsoft Excel we call it as a workbook นะครับ we call it as a workbook while นะครับ while each page นะครับin Microsoft Excel นะครับ has been separated by the tab นะครับ we call it as a worksheet or a sheet so after that we talk about the menu นะครับ that we have got in Microsoft Excel นะครับ it's underneath the title bar we have lots of menu and each menu it has like the ribbon นะครับ underneath for example right now when we are at home menu we have the home ribbon นะครับ in each ribbon it has been separated in groups นะครับ it has been separated in groups so in here you can see that we have like many groups underneath the home ribbon or the home tab นะครับ for example we have clipboard group font group alignment number styles sales and editing so in here the buttons in each group นะครับ has been used for different purposes นะครับ and underneath the ribbons we have like the boxes นะครับ the left one is the name box that is the place where we can have the name of the cell or the location of each cell นะครับ the next one is about like the formula นะครับ the function that we can insert and we can check for the correctness and the rightmost นะครับ the longest white box here is called formula bar it's the place where we enter the formula นะครับ or checking or editing the formula that we enter in each cell นะครับ so each worksheet นะครับ a worksheet is like a table that consists of lots of boxes นะครับ or cells inside นะครับ each cell นะครับ is identified by column and row นะครับ it's the intersection between column and rows for example right now the place where my cursor นะครับ is clicking on it นะครับ is the cell B8 so you can see that it's a coordination between column B and row number 8 นะครับ so whenever we would like to go to or to have a look or enter any data of any specific cell the way in order to locate the cell is that you may use the arrow key นะครับ in order to navigate that cell or you may type on the name box นะครับ for the cell location so that we can just go to that specific cell and after that when we know these kind of basic things already we talk about like the worksheet that we may have on each Microsoft Excel workbook นะครับ so on each workbook if we on each file in each file or in each workbook if we would like to have more than one worksheet we can do it easily so the way in order to do it is that we go to the sheet นะครับ and after that on the right hand side you see plus symbol in the circle you may clickนะครับ to create new sheet and then that come with a new sheet so for each sheet นะครับ it depends on how would you like to use your Excel. So for example, somebody may want to store the data of a year in one sheet นะครับ each year sheet. For example, if we say that we have the data of 2018 is stored in one sheet, 2019 in another sheet, and so on. Or somebody may want to store the data นะครับ monthly in each sheet นะครับ for example January in one sheet, February in one sheet, and so on นะครับ depends on how you're gonna use it. Whenever you would like to control the sheet, if you would like to rename the sheet นะครับ for example the default sheet นะครับ is created and name it as sheet followed by the number. If you want to rename it, you may move the mouse pointer over the sheet name and then double click. Then you may type the new name on it. Or you may just like right click on the sheet tab and choose rename menu นะครับ so that you can just type the new name that you want to have. Next on นะครับ if you would like to delete the sheet นะครับ that you may just like don't want it anymore, you may just like go to the sheet tab นะครับ right click and then you choose delete. If it is a blank sheet, Excel will delete it immediately without asking for anything. But if your sheet consists of some data, for example, in this sheet, the revenue 2020, we had the data inside. If I just like try to right click and then delete it, Excel will ask you first, are you sure to delete it permanently นะครับ okay, so apart from that one, we can shuffle the position of the sheets as well. For example, suppose we say that okay, we have the sheets for different years นะครับ one sheet for 1 year and you want to shuffle it because when you created the sheet it might be in the wrong position นะครับ wrong order. The things that you may do is that, for example, in here, if I want to have my sheet 1 นะครับ to appear on the left hand side of revenue 2020 sheet, the way that we can do is that we move the mouse pointer over sheet 1 นะครับ we move the mouse pointer over sheet 1 and then just drag it. Then you can see the black small arrow นะครับ on the top of the sheet name. Then you just move it to any location that you want to have, like this one. Okay, so when you know how to manage like the sheet easily already, the next thing that we had on the last class was that we start talking about what to say setting the column width or the row height. You can see that in here when you start typing the data in each cell นะครับ okay, the things that you see is that sometimes the data that you type in นะครับ is over the width of the cell. For example, in here you can see that some month like September นะครับ November and December, the width of these text goes beyond the width of column A. The way that we can do in order to widen the column, we have a couple of ways to do that. The first one นะครับ is that you just go to the column that you want to widen. For example, if you want to widen column A นะครับ you move the mouse pointer on the right border of column A นะครับ from the basic pointer นะครับ the basic pointer, if you just like if you are on the worksheet, the cursor นะครับ is in the white thick, the white and thick cross ครับ but if you move the mouse pointer on the column นะครับ on the column name, it is just like in the black down in the sorry the black down arrow. But if you move the mouse pointer over the border of the column, is changed to be the bidirectional arrow นะครับ with a vertical line, small vertical line here. So when it shows this symbol, that means you can widen the column นะครับ you just drag นะครับ the column border, it will be widened นะครับ this one is the manual widen the column width. The next one นะครับ apart from manually widen the column, you may just like specify the number in order to set the width of the column as well. For example, in here, the way to do is that you choose the column where you want to set up the width first. For example, if you want to set up the width of column A, you go to column A นะครับ click นะครับ left click on the column A while the cursor is in down arrow นะครับ After that, you right click, then it comes up with the context menu. The menu like this, we call it as context menu นะครับ When we right click and it pops up any menu, we call it as context menu. Then you can choose column width นะครับ and then specify the width. Suppose I say that I want to have the width for 10 points นะครับ The unit of measurement is points in here. If I have 10 points, then it's just like widen. Apart from that one, you may just like widen many columns at a time. Firstly, you have to choose like the continuous columns where you want to set up the width first. For example, if you want to set up the column A to G, นะครับ you move the mouse pointer over the column heading here, and then you drag นะครับ from column A to G like this. So from column A to column G, they will be highlighted. After that, นะครับ on the column heading, you can go to any column นะครับ right click and then choose column width. Now, you can see that it just like pop up a window to ask you that how wide do you want. Suppose I say that I want all of the highlighted column to have like 15 points of the width. You just enter a number. Then from column A to column G, they will have the same width. That is 15 points. In this way, if you choose multiple columns like this, and you would like to manually choose or adjust the width, you can do it as well. So after you highlight, you choose นะครับ at any border of any columns that you highlighted. And after that, you just like see the bidirectional arrow here. Then you just start dragging. You can see that any highlighted column, the width will be adjusted. Like this. Okay, that is the second way. After that, apart from those two ways in order to adjust the width, you may just like have the automatic justification of the width by Excel itself. The way to do is that suppose we have the data like this. Column A and column B seems to have like too narrow width of the column, and you want Excel to justify by itself. You don't want to specify the width by yourself. Then you just highlight the column that where you want Excel to justify the width. For example, I choose column A first. Okay. Then the way that we do is that we move the mouse pointer on the right border of the column. Instead of dragging out or in, you just double click instead. Now I'll double click column A at its border. You can see that right now the width of the column A will be automatically justified by Excel. So it will the width of the column will cover all the width of the cells in this column. So how does Excel justify the width? It just check for the widest cell. For example, in here, you can see that the widest cell is September, right? So it just like justify the width of the cell A10 here. And the width of this column will be just a bit more than the width of the widest cell. So that's why in here, when Excel justify the width, it just like cover all the width of the cells in this column. In column B, we can do the same thing. We go to column B, highlight it, and go to the right border, and then double click. It will just like automatic justify as well. So for automatic justification of the width, we can just like choose more than one column as well. For example, if I say that, okay, from column A to column G, and then I want them to be automatically justified. Okay, let me just like, make column A and column B to be a bit narrow, while other columns are just like the regular width. So I highlight from column A to column G, and then I just like go to double click on the border of any columns that I highlighted. You can see that column A and column B will be automatically justified. What about other columns where we don't have any data? This one will not affect by the automatic justification. The width will be just like the original width that it has. This one can be applied to the height of the column of the row as well. Suppose we say that, okay, row number 3 is too short. The height is too short in here. You may just choose it, and then you may drag in order to just like make the height of the row to be higher. Or you can just like click on the row heading, go to the border and double click. Then it's automatically justification. And after that, if you want to choose many rows, you can do the same thing. You can drag, or you can right click and then choose row height, specify the width of the height of the rows as well. This is the way that we did on the last class. After that, Excel has a feature in order to automatically justify the value of the cells for you. For example, in here, suppose we would like to enter the month. We would like to enter the month of the year. We start from January, February until December. But instead of entering the text from January to December, you don't need to do so. Excel can help you to fill up this data. The way to do is that you just simply you just simply enter some example of the text that you want to have first. For example, in here, you enter January and February. So Excel can analyze that after February, it should be March, April, and so on for you. When you enter to example of the text or the value already, you just highlight those values. Then you can see that on the bottom right corner, it appears the green dot here, or it's just like quick analysis here. It just like help you to fill up the data by just like go to the bottom right corner, where it has the green dot. When you move the mouse pointer over the green dot, the thick white cross will be changed to the black hairline cross. You just drag it down. So you see the preview on the right hand side. You can see that there is a bubble show the month that we are going to have. And then you can release whenever you want to stop. So in this example, if I just like stop at December, then I can just release the mouse. And then you can see that it has like March to December automatically. But if you say that, okay, you want more than that, for example, you have like different month for 2 years, then you can drag more. Apart from December, it's the end of the last month already. If you still drag more, it just like go to start having the month of the second year for you. Something like this. Okay. right? This is automatic filling of the data for us นะครับ apart from month what else that Excel can do anything that are number นะครับ or I mean the series of data for example quarters if you have Q1 Q2 it will add Q3 Q4 for you. If you have number 1 number 2 number 3 it can add 4 5 6 and so on for you. Or if you have the series of data for example if you have odd number 1 3 5 นะครับ 3 5 Excel can analyze from 1 3 5 and have the other odd numbers for you. This is the example of having automatic filling up the data. Okay, so after this we will talk about like how do we gonna enter and move the data around where we have. In this one, on the last class we enter month and revenue in 2 columns, column A and column B, and later on we found that it's just like to just like stick to the corner, and we would like to add some more columns or rows. What should we do? For example, if we say that okay we want to push down month and revenue, the header of this table down a bit we have a couple of ways to do. We can we have a couple of ways to do. The first one, we may insert the new row for example in here we want month and revenue to be pushed down to be in row 2 instead of row 1. The way to do is that if we want to insert the row, what should we do? So firstly, if you want to have a blank row before row number 1, you just click on row 1 first the whole row in here. After that, you right click and choose insert. Then it will insert the blank row for you. This is the way to insert. Let me do it again. Firstly, you go to the row that you want to have a new row before. So in this case, you want to have a blank row before row number 1. You click row number 1, right click and choose insert. Suppose you want to have a row before May. That means you want to have a new row before row 7. We click on row 7, choose the whole, highlight the whole row, and then right click and then choose insert. If we just like do it by just clicking on just one cell, not the whole row it will be different context menu. Insert will be different insert because it will ask you that what do you want? You want to shift the cell down, or would you like to insert the entire row? That you have to answer the questions from this dialog box. But if you highlight the whole row, it just like automatically insert the whole row for you like this. Now, if you want to insert the extra column, we do the same thing. We have to highlight the column and then right click and then choose insert. So everyone just insert the blank column and blank row to make your table to be shifted a bit like this one. Okay, that is the first way that we can just like make our table to be shifted according to what we need. Okay, now the next thing the next way that we can do is that apart from insert the rows, what if we want to move this table? What are we going to do? So in this case, suppose we have this table from A1, cell A1 to cell B13. Assume that this is our table. The way that we do is that you highlight the cells to cover your table first. Once you highlight, same as when we had the autofill, on the bottom right corner, it comes up with the green dot like this. Once you move the mouse pointer to any border of the table, you can see that the shape of the pointer is changed again from the thick white cross. It changed to be small directional arrow cross instead. In here, this cross tell us that you can move the table freehand. For example, if I want to move this table to be started at cell E3, you can just like go to the border and start dragging. So in here, once you release the mouse, your table is moved to the cell E3 as the first cell already. So this is the way that we can move our table. Somebody said that can we cut and paste? You can, but sometimes for cut and paste, there are something that you have to consider. Sometimes you have just like some extra identification of the cell. For example, some formula has some specific location that you specify in the cell. Once you just like copy and paste, those referencing may be wrong. Maybe just like may go irregular ones. So that's why somebody may decide to just like move this table instead of just like cut and paste, something like this. Okay, so when we know how to move the table already, then we just like I just like want to show you that if we have the order of number to be filled up for the month, how it looks like. Then if I enter number 1, number 2 like this, I can drag to make the rest of the number to be filling up by Excel as well. So right now we have 3 columns. We have 3 columns for this table already. We will just like enter the revenue in US dollars. So everyone, when you enter the data, bear in mind, listen to me, if you enter the number, the currency, and anything that are just like calculatable, especially for the currency, never enter comma, never enter comma. For example, if you have 5,000, if you want to enter 5,000, comma is not allowed, because if you enter comma, the meaning is different, because comma is an alphabet, is a letter, is an alphabet. Once you enter some number together with the alphabet, it will be treated as the text instead. It will be treated as a text instead. So what does it mean? If you enter 5,000 with a comma, in the Excel, it will be treated as 5,000, and this value is not calculatable. For this one, you have to know that the new version of Excel, for example, in 2019, it may treat comma to be a part of the number automatically. But the older version of Excel, for example, if you use Excel 2010, something like that, or 2013, Excel doesn't know that this is a number. It treats this one as a text, so never enter comma. When I enter, I will just like normally enter it as 5000 as 5,000. Apart from this one, my suggestion is that for $sign is as well. If you have $5,000 here, don't enter $sign. Don't enter $sign. The way that you have to enter is just 5,000, 5000 only, so that we will have the way to set up $sign and comma นะครับ by using the Excel way. Okay, so now I'll start entering the data นะครับ so everyone just like entering the data what I just like type in so that we can just like do the next step together